Hey there, and welcome. So, today we are diving into this really powerful idea from Japan that might just be the perfect antidote to our crazy, distracted modern lives. I mean, if you've ever felt like you're just going through the motions, then you're definitely in the right place. Just take a second and let that one sink in. It's a pretty haunting idea, isn't it? This quote just perfectly nails that feeling that I think so many of us have experienced. It's that really unsettling sense that we're just spectators watching our own lives happen. You know, our body's here, but our mind is just off somewhere else entirely.
I mean, think about this for a second. You pull into your driveway, you kill the engine, and then it hits you. You have absolutely zero memory of the last 20 minutes. You can't remember the turns, the traffic lights, nothing. It's like the classic example of this ghostly state where our body just performs all these complex tasks completely on autopilot. And this autopilot mode, it's not just for driving. Oh no, it creeps into the most important parts of our lives. We're physically there, playing with our kids, but in our heads, we're actually writing a work email. We're sitting at the dinner table, but our mind is already planning tomorrow's big meeting. We literally become absent from our own lives. And to really get a sense of the huge cost of living this way, let's dig into a story.
Okay, so let's talk about a guy named Michael. His story is just this incredibly powerful example of the real and often painful consequences of living life as a mental ghost. So by every single external measure, Michael was a success. He was this brilliant lawyer, totally respected in his field, with a mind so sharp it could win cases and just command a courtroom. He had built the exact life he was supposed to want. And every evening, you could set your watch to it. Michael would go through the ritual of coming home. He'd park the car, walk up the same path, and step through his front door. He was officially, physically home. But here's the kicker. While his body was home, his mind was absolutely still back at the office. It was caught in this relentless loop, replaying a cross-examination from earlier, debating a legal strategy, silently drafting email responses in his head. He was a ghost walking his own hallway. And down that hall, he could hear it, the sounds of his family, that pure, joyous laughter of his kids playing some game. It was the soundtrack of the life of the home that he had worked so hard to build. But that laughter, it never really reached him. It was just background noise, kind of muffled and distant, like a radio playing softly in another room. He was aware that the sounds of his life were happening, but he wasn't in them. He wasn't part of the song. And this went on for years, until one day the realization just hit him like a punch to the gut. He looked at his kids, who seemed to have grown up in this total blur, and this one devastating question just echoed in his mind. The price of his mental absence was the most precious thing of all: time. So, how do we fight this? How do we stop being ghosts? Well, the answer actually comes from an ancient tradition, a concept from the world of the samurai. It's called Zanshin, and it's the secret to getting our awareness back. Zanshin literally translates to the lingering mind. It's this state of being completely present and aware of everything around you, even after you finish doing something. It's all about not mentally rushing off to the next thing, but staying with the moment you're in until it's actually truly complete. Now, you gotta remember, this whole concept has some pretty high-stakes origins. For a samurai, a lapse in awareness wasn't just, missing a conversation. It was literally a matter of life and death. The whole philosophy of Zanshin was forged where total presence was the absolute key to survival. Now for us, the stakes are different, but they're no less profound. It's the key to truly living, not just existing. So, this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually practice Zanshin in our own lives, without needing a sword? The answer is beautifully simple. You forged something called a return anchor. And this is what changed everything for Michael. He didn't need years of meditation or some complex spiritual practice. All he needed was a simple physical tool to basically jolt his mind out of autopilot and yank it back to the here and now. His return anchor was the very doorknob he touched every single day. That cold metal object became his trigger. It was a physical signal that meant the courtroom is done, you are home now, be here. It was his gateway back to his own life. And you can create your own anchor. It's incredibly straightforward. First, you just choose it. It could be your doorknob, your car keys, the button on the coffee machine, any object or action that marks a transition in your day. Second, when you touch it or do it, you consciously pause.
Don't just rush through it. Third, take one single intentional breath, in and out. And finally, you use that breath to fully arrive, leaving the last moment behind and stepping completely into the now.
Now, practicing this simple technique, it leads to a much deeper, more profound shift in how you see things. It totally changes the way we think about the most valuable resource we have. Just think about our modern obsession, right? We're always looking for life hacks to save a few minutes, apps to make us more productive, strategies to cram more into our day. We are desperate for more time. But Zanshin teaches us that we're actually focusing on the wrong problem. Here's the real problem. We are constantly finishing moments before they're actually over. While you're on a work call, your mind is already figuring out dinner. While you're eating dinner, your mind is on the TV show you're going to watch later. We live in this state of perpetual mental fast forward, never fully being in the space we're actually in. And this, right here, is the ultimate lesson of the Zanshin method. That feeling that we don't have enough time is often just a symptom of not having enough presence. I mean, 1 hour spent fully engaged with your family is infinitely more valuable than 3 hours spent with them as a mental ghost. Zanshin teaches us it's not about the quantity of our time, it's all about the quality of our attention within it.
And that leaves us with one final question to think about. As you go about your day, what conversation, what meal, what simple task will you commit to being fully present for? What moment will you choose to truly experience, from its beginning all the way to its end, without mentally rushing on to whatever's next?